Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm the student of Contemporary Issues of Accounting in Semester 2, 2020. This video is the addition to the subject project, the final assignment that I have undertaken at the end of the course. I would like to present to you the topic that I have chosen. These are contemporary business advisor skills that accounting students and non-accountants actually too can obtain to be successful as a business advisor. We know that this year has brought to us a lot of changes. These changes demand businesses, all of the businesses, to adjust and shift their procedures, their staffing methods, their resourcing of the staff, and their approaches to the training of the staff. My project is focusing on the skills that are new to accounting profession. It has been already known that not only financial or number crunching skills are in demand. The most sought after skills are those of analytical analytical area, and also the skills that are a part of the communication area. Communication was underlined as a red line in the many studies. The research that I propose and present now is focusing on those skills. As a research question, I have chosen what are the skills that new business advisory service industry is requiring from the accounting students. In my report, you will see the answers to these questions. However, in the beginning of this video, I would like to underline that the limitations of these research projects were time frame and, of course, limited access to the pool of the interviewers. Let's get back to the research. As a researcher, I presumed that the environmental changes, such as pandemic, created new demands. I wanted to confirm that small businesses specifically require those have the changes in the demands as well. My research question sounds as: what is the skill set required to become successful contemporary business advisor for small and medium businesses? The small and medium businesses aspect has been chosen because these businesses contribute as much as 35% of GDP. And I suggest that in the changing environment like this past year, the contribution to the GDP of the small businesses has been enormous. These businesses have been, thanks to the government support, obviously, but these businesses have been on board, and many of them have sustained their employees during the hard times. They contribute a lot to the economy, and they contribute a lot to the societal responses that we have talked about in our first assignment. As a research methods, I've chosen the secondary data analysis. I've covered it a little bit in the introduction in this interview, and an interview method as well. I've interviewed a partner of the mid-tier accounting firm. This firm positioned themselves not just as an accounting firm who prepare financial reports and do a lot of other services for the clients. They position themselves as professional business advisors, and accounting services are an addition to these business advisors. they tend to hire students, accounting students and non-accounting students, to fulfill their staff needs. And in the interview, we covered such areas as why they hire and how many of those non-accounting students they hire. And unexpectedly, it was discovered that accounting students always lack communication skills, and the demand for those communication skills are increasing, specifically in business advisory area. Therefore, I present in short, the findings of the research. First of all, communication skill set was outlined as an essential one. Crunching the numbers can be taught and can be trained even after the students complete their accounting courses at the universities or with the professional bodies. Communication skills cannot be taught that easily. It was mentioned by the partner that those who do not have ability to work on their communication skills constantly within their working hours and personally, they do not succeed in the business advisory field, unfortunately. The second demanded skill was outlined not only by the business partner, but by the clients who this business partner is servicing. The clients mentioned that establishing the trustworthy relationship in between them and the business advisor is essential. The communication skill set actually contributes to establishing such relationship. And via interview, we identified that these relationships are contributing to the build of long-term relationship that support the businesses on both parties, as accounting practice, a business advisory service business, and the small businesses that they are servicing. I think that this finding is quite interesting because you would expect that preparation of financial reports, tax returns, and implementing some auditing requirements for the business compliance would be enough for the accountant, but not that is not anymore the bottom line of the service. The demand in building those relationships is also based on the technological development and shifts. The next finding that was very interesting is that the small business owners expect their accountants or business advisors, rather than just accountants, their business advisors to communicate clearly the technological advances, the software that can be used, and the training programs that they can provide to the small business staff to succeed in the implementing of this technology. The concern about the cybersecurity risk also has been raised in the interview, and it was found that small businesses are quite exposed to the cyber crimes. Business advisors can help those people in identifying those risks and minimizing those risks by teaching them how to use the technologies, which technologies to use, how to collaborate with IT companies, and so on. In my poster presentation, I outlined the I used the research poster template, which included the introduction, the finding section, and the future of the future possible studies of this research. I also included in the poster presented in this research the chart flow that I think outlines the essential parts of the research, outlines the relationship in between those parts of the research. For example, as a researcher, I made an assumption that the environmental changes, like pandemic, create new demands. The research value was assumed by me as a researcher by identifying what is the importance of this topic. This is directly linked to the assumption, obviously. I haven't mentioned about the theory because it is quite dry, so I would like to interview be more personal rather than just the reading the reports. But I have included in the presentation the further segmentation of the theory, or the economical theory, which was the base to identify the relationship in between the demand and the new conditions on the market. The methods are also linked to both concluding the theory and the research questions. The second part of the flowchart is contributed to the findings, the limitations, and as a result, the summary is also identified. So there are multiple areas for the future study, and this research I hope contributed a little to understanding those areas. First of all, I think that the demand in new skill sets can be satisfied by introducing specific business advisory course at the university within the Master of Professional Accounting or within the accounting course. This will help students to land better jobs, and this will help them understand how the business advisories work and how they have to approach the development of those specific skills. Also, I would like to outline the communication skills is not just the interpretation of the reports and being able to clearly communicate this with the clients. The big point was the usage of the plain English language that students need to train. Because we know that there are multiple international students who would like to stay in Australia, like myself, though I immigrated professionally, but after the completion of the Master of Professional course, I find that my many international student colleagues, they seek the jobs and they cannot land job in the profession because of their limited language skills. So as a future in the study, I would probably like to see the correlations in between the numbers of international students coming to Australia to study accounting and the outcome of how many and how successful they are in the landing a good job in the field. The poster is finishing with the future outlined statements. One of those, obtain new skills set at the university, which I have described as a possibility of the future studies. The second one is seek support from professional bodies. I think that collaboration with between the university and professional bodies is essential as well to develop those skill sets. Professional bodies are constantly working with the accounting practices. They are on the board of the newest changes. They are they know exactly what is happening, how the profession is shaping, and obviously how the skill sets are shaping. So this would be for the students who cannot access this information through the accounting presses. Collaboration with the professional bodies would be the first source to search such information. Never stop adding to IT skills. The technology advancements, as I mentioned when describing the interview outcomes, brought the partners of the accounting firm to understanding that they have to learn IT. It is not just the usage level. You need to know how accounting softwares work, how business advisory presentation softwares works, how can those softwares be customized, how to use those softwares at their full capacity. For that, you need to develop and learn IT. It would be good if, for example, our Master of Accounting would include such a subject. We did touch it a little bit, like working with Excel spreadsheets and everything. But if the business advisory course would be formed, for example, it would be good to have a subject that would cover the existing software on the market available to support the business advisory services. And the last statement that I would like to cover in this interview is get on board your clients with new technology. This is also side findings that the interview covered. The comment about training your clients in usage of these new technologies. This will minimize the risk. This is not just building the strategy for those clients. It is developing their IT skills. The majority of bookkeeping, for example, clients can do themselves with the existing softwares like or accounting system like MIOB or Xero or QuickBooks and so on. And these allow them to do their bookkeeping on the go. Whenever they have the internet, they can access it. However, it brings risks. If their phone has been hacked, for example, and they're issuing an invoice, whoever it has hacked the phone can access the data on the accounting file, which is absolutely not a high risk of losing the data and bringing more expensive processes to install the software, security softwares, and so on. Therefore, business advisors have to train, and for that they have to be on top of the IT technology. They have to be on top of their communication skills, with their verbal ability to interpret, communicate, and build the training strategies for their clients. With this statement, I would like to finish my presentation, and I would like to thank you, University of Canberra. This is my last subject, and I hope that University of Canberra will continue to bring in on the market skilled students who can land jobs easily in any field they choose to work in. Thank you very much. Goodbye.